Yeah, fucking undo the fucking thing again. Mad idea. Fuck. Fucking. How the fuck did I get this in? Oh, fuck, it's a bee's dick. Absolutely. Yeah. What's that off? Blind or both. I know it's 9/16. I've done it a bunch of times. I grabbed out a 7/16. Not enough 16ths. Alright, well, that was yesterday. This is today. Fixed where the radiator sits, so I pulled the top of it back forward, just shortened these mounts, made new ones on both sides. Pretty happy with that. Fuck, I need to drain this thing too first. Now I put the Spol 15-inch pusher back on because the fan I had on there was like just not keeping up at idle, and this seems to bring it back down to temperature, which is great, but it's blowing fuses on startup particularly. It'll pop a 30 amp at full startup. Now I think that's because of two things. First thing, I think the plug, oh that's not it, it's down here somewhere. I think the plug that's connecting it isn't beefy enough to be happy with the current, so I'm going to get rid of that. Make a long wire to I've got an Anderson, which is good for 50 amps down, and I'll put it in. So I can just remove the fan if I need to. Big pain in the ass from now on to get the radiator out. I have to remove the water pump housing, the water thermostat housing. But that's, you know, how often do you need a radiator out? Hopefully not that often, etc, etc. This all sits nice. I'm happy with how everything moves around everything. I'm happy with the way it works. The fan I've put too far this way. You can see down in there, that little bit there that you can just see is the sprig for the open the bonnet. You can see I'm just hitting the fan bloody motor. Now the interesting thing about this fan, the fan itself is actually a thinner, it's less, well, they call it low profile fan, but the fucking motor is actually bigger than the other ones. Oh, the motor hangs out further, so what's the friggin' point? If the motor hangs out further, what's the point making the fucking fan thinner? Who gives a shit? Anyway, so I've put a 50 amp MIDI fuse, so the same sort of shit you run for stereos and stuff. It's slow blow, so the initial startup loads up amps like crazy. I did a bunch of research online. There's guys who say, oh, it should be fine with the 30, but none of them are actually running one of these friggin' fans. The fan will pull 20 amps pretty much, 19.5, which is 20 basically, 20 at when it's running. So the initial startup load is far higher than that. And I think, oh fuck, what was that? Oh shit. I think it's actually, I think as it heated up and drew more and more current, I think this heated up. More heat in a wire or a joint creates more resistance, means it draws more power, and so on until you blow a fuse. And so I didn't pop 30 the first time it started. The second time it tried to kick in, it popped 30. So I'm going to put 50 on it. do my connections better. Now I do have the fan does come with a 40 amp relay, which is quite, you know, a little more chunky. So yeah, I'm gonna run 50 amp fuse. Look, if it blows that, it blows that. Run it before the relay, so if something shorts inside the relay, it'll pop the fuse, which is, you know, the way you're supposed to do it. I'm sure there's a million people who would argue that that's unlike me to do things the way you should do it, but here we are. I'm just going to get this drained, pull it all out, move the fan. I think I'll just move it that way to the middle so that the motor isn't underneath this. The motor will be over this way a bit, and just fucking see if that works. I don't know. I need to make a cover for this. It looks like shit. Yesterday I had to redo the radiator mounts. I had to cut away some more of the back of this, not to actually fit the fan, but to be able to get the thing in and out. To get it out, I had to actually unclip the old fan from the radiator. I don't remember that being a problem putting it in, so either I figured out a way to wiggle it that made it work that doesn't work anymore, or, you know, having whatever has changed it. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Yeah, got the right socket first time today. You. There is no space for my hands because I put a Hemi in an EH. Gonna have to paint up these new ones of these I made. Paint it black, put it back. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this fucking thing out. Well, no one went in, so why the fuck didn't it come in? Oh, bollocks. It's on the ground now. Let's save it. Oh, okay. I am hard up against everything. Grill. Fucking battery box. Almighty. Oh, that's me. Get rid of the tube. That's caught. What I didn't do, because, you know, I'm awesome, I went, you know what, I don't need to fucking put a massive chip in the bloody rocker cover, taking it off last time. So in my infinite wisdom, I didn't tape that up because I thought, nah, it should be right. How the fuck did I get this out last time? There it goes. Oh, it is. Oh. Tight. Ooh. I need this fan in here. Such a pain in the ass to get in and out. Put an Anderson plug right here. I'm going to do it. Oh, it's just. Oh, I wonder if it's. Back in for a bit. if it's the position of the water pump. So I believe when I put it in before, maybe the orientation of the water pump a little, it looks like it's just clipping the bolts at the end of the water pump. Let's back this off here. Just back off the belt tensioner. Rotate the pump. Oh, that might be it, you know? That might be it. It's fucking millimeters is the problem. Everything is bloody millimeters. None of it's... Yep. There it goes. Alright. Okay. Well, I've got this, I'll show you this. So this is the inside of my bin right now. You can see there, that and that are two halves of a shitty pressed metal pulley that was on the front of the alternator. Now, I have this bad boy. So, you may remember my last video, I put an idler in here to pull, the alternator was down here, and I pulled an idler just here, through that nobule there that I've cut off that used to be a nobule with an idler thing on it, and that was to give more wrap around the alternator belt. I did a bunch of mats and all that shit, and all it did was throw belts. Now I think that's because the distance between where the belt comes from a pulley that aligns it, which is the bottom pulley, to the idler was too long, so it could walk far enough that it would get off the side of the tensioner, the idler. That idler was wider than this one, and it was still folding itself off the front. I checked the alignment. Everything was, you know, good, but that's what it was doing. And I think it was purely two things. It was the distance from the pulley. So you see here, this is the way the belt goes around. It comes out of a V groove and immediately goes to the backside tension. So there's not a lot of distance between there and there, so it can't walk a long way. But if this was a long way away, there'd be enough space that even a tiny little bit of degrees would get it off the edge of that pulley. And I think that was the problem. It was too far. So now I've done the alternate thing, which was to kick the alternator out to the side further, which gives more wrap around the alternator belt. I'm plus of 90 degrees here. And still gives me plenty of wrap around the power steer. So it's about 120-ish degrees around both of them. Plenty around the water pump, the new mechanical water pump. Not that that matters, because they actually don't chew a lot. They don't have a lot of grip issues on water pumps. If it's just a water pump, if there's a fan on it, then it will create more drag. But water pump by itself, not so much. And I've also you see, replacing this with a decent quality pulley that it actually can get grip on and not just slip on a polished bit of metal has made it much better. So this bit works, and when the thermo kicks in and draws fucking 40 amps, it doesn't squeal or anything. It's happy. It doesn't drop voltage, nothing. Which leads me to believe that the entire time my problem was purely belt slippage. So if I'd just gone and over tightened the belt like crazy, me and Mon's trip probably would have been fine. Anyway, what are you going to do? Alright, it's in the hole. Looks good. Set the fan a little lower so you can't see it here anymore. I will make something to go over this because it looks fucking terrible. I just need to hide it. Would have been really easy to do this if past Mika hadn't decided that he didn't want to see any fasteners on any of this. So he made these lovely things and painted them. All that, I suppose, just unbolt with a bunch of, well, they're 5/16 UNF, it's 3/8 head, and then just buzz them off, done. That would have been shit tons easier, but here we are. So, in tested the fan, it's pushing the water, the air the right way. Just put the bottom hose join piece in, which is this rad metal bit that I made. I'm just going to do up that, fill it full of fluid. The easiest way to get this in and out was to take off the power steer pulley as well, which, you know, for the amount of times you'd actually do a take off and on a fan is now that it's in there and it's sorted, inverted, fucking knock on wood and smash my head and whatever, but it should actually just be all good now. This fan should do the job. It looked like it was doing the job until the fuse blew, so I'll just start it and idle it once I get fluid in it and test everything again. Seems like it working. Didn't pop a fuse. Fuck, that fan howls. Moved some ridiculous amount of CFM, I can't remember. Just hammering away. Not getting any escape around the edge. All of that air's going through. You can feel it way back here. It's coming off everything. Now I'm hoping to wait until it turns itself off, but I don't know if that's happening. Guess we'll just wait and see.